Hello and welcome back to the Military Time. Today, we turn our focus to one of the most volatile and tragic conflicts in modern history, the ongoing war between Israel and Palestine. A conflict that has captured global attention for decades. It has once again escalated into widespread violence, drawing concern, outrage, and fear from around the world. The situation is evolving rapidly, with both sides suffering significant losses as the humanitarian crisis deepens day by day. The current wave of violence erupted after months of growing tension in Gaza and the West Bank. What began as isolated skirmishes quickly escalated into full-scale military operations. Israel launched airstrikes targeting what it described as Hamas military infrastructure, while rockets from Gaza rained down on Israeli cities, causing panic among civilians. The cycle of attack and retaliation has created a devastating situation for millions of people living in the region. Reports indicate that Israeli fighter jets have carried out hundreds of airstrikes across Gaza, hitting what the Israel Defense Forces claim are Hamas command centers, tunnels, and weapons storage facilities. However, these strikes have also resulted in extensive civilian casualties, including women and children, and have left entire neighborhoods reduced to rubble. Hospitals in Gaza are overwhelmed, running dangerously low on fuel, medicine, and essential supplies, while rescue workers struggle to pull survivors from the debris. On the other side, Hamas and other militant groups have fired thousands of rockets into Israel, targeting major cities like Tel Aviv, Ashkelon, and Beersheba. Israel's Iron Dome defense system has intercepted many of these rockets, but not all. Several have struck residential areas, causing injuries and destruction. Civilians in both Gaza and Israel are living under constant threat, with air raid sirens echoing day and night. The Israeli government has declared that its military campaign will continue until Hamas's capabilities are completely neutralized. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who stated that Israel is fighting not just a military battle, but a war for its very survival. Meanwhile, Palestinian leaders accuse Israel of collective punishment, describing the attacks as war crimes and demanding immediate international intervention. The humanitarian situation in Gaza is now dire. More than 2 million people are trapped in an enclave with limited access to electricity, clean water, and medical care. The blockade imposed by Israel and Egypt has further restricted aid from reaching those in need. United Nations officials warn that Gaza is facing a catastrophe of unprecedented scale if a ceasefire is not reached soon. Thousands of displaced families are crowding into UN shelters, schools, and mosques, seeking refuge from relentless bombings. International reactions have been mixed. The United States has reaffirmed its support for Israel's right to defend itself, while also urging restraint to avoid further civilian casualties. European nations have called for de-escalation and a return to dialogue. Meanwhile, countries across the Middle East, including Iran, Turkey, and Qatar, have condemned Israel's actions and voiced strong support for the Palestinian cause. Protests have erupted in cities around the world, from London and Paris to New York and Jakarta, demanding an end to what many are calling a humanitarian disaster. Diplomatic efforts to broker a ceasefire have so far yielded little progress. Egypt, Qatar, and the United Nations have been leading mediation talks, but both sides remain entrenched in their positions. Hamas demands the lifting of the Gaza blockade and an end to Israeli military raids in the West Bank, while Israel insists on the complete disarmament of militant groups before any truce can take effect. As the conflict drags on, the civilian population continues to bear the brunt of the suffering. Gaza's infrastructure is collapsing. Power outages last up to 20 hours a day. Hospitals are struggling to function, with doctors performing surgeries without anesthesia. Families are forced to dig through rubble with their bare hands, searching for loved ones. The death toll is rising by the hour, with thousands injured and countless homes destroyed. In Israel, fear and anxiety dominate daily life. Citizens are told to stay near shelters as rocket sirens sound across the country. The psychological toll on children and families is immense. Communities near the Gaza border have been evacuated, and schools remain closed. Despite this, the Israeli military continues its operations, claiming that Hamas embeds its military assets within civilian areas, making it nearly impossible to strike without collateral damage. Global leaders are under mounting pressure to intervene. The UN Security Council has held multiple emergency meetings, but divisions among member states have prevented any unified resolution. Human rights organizations have called for independent investigations into alleged war crimes committed by both sides. Aid groups warn that unless fuel and medical supplies are allowed into Gaza immediately, thousands more could die not from bombs, but from hunger, dehydration, and lack of medical care. Social media has become another battlefield in this conflict. Graphic images and videos from Gaza and Israel have gone viral, sparking heated debates online. Misinformation and propaganda are spreading rapidly, making it difficult to distinguish fact from fiction. Both sides accuse each other of manipulating public opinion, and the digital war has become just as fierce as the one fought on the ground. As the days pass, the question remains: how long can this continue before the region plunges into an even greater crisis? Analysts warn that without a meaningful and lasting ceasefire, the violence could spread beyond Gaza, igniting a wider regional conflict. Neighboring countries like Lebanon and Syria are already seeing increased tensions, with fears that militant groups might join the fighting. For now, both Israel and Hamas appear determined to press on. Israeli ground forces have reportedly massed near the Gaza border, preparing for a possible large-scale invasion. The army claims this move is necessary to eliminate Hamas's tunnel network and command centers once and for all. But such an operation could lead to catastrophic urban warfare, with even greater civilian losses. Palestinians, meanwhile, say they have nothing left to lose. Their homes are gone, their loved ones buried under the ruins, and their cries for help seem to echo unanswered across the world. In Gaza, the resilience of the people is remarkable. Communities come together to share food, rebuild what little they can, and cling to hope that one day, peace will return to their land. The international community continues to call for an immediate ceasefire, humanitarian corridors, and renewed peace talks aimed at a two-state solution. But peace remains elusive. Decades of mistrust, occupation, and bloodshed have left scars that run deep. Each new round of violence makes reconciliation seem even further away. As we stand today, the world watches once again as innocent lives are lost in a conflict that shows no signs of ending. The streets of Gaza are filled with grief, and the skies over Israel remain filled with rockets. The suffering is immense on both sides, and humanity itself bears the cost of this endless war. This is a defining moment, not just for Israel and Palestine, but for the world's moral conscience. How many more lives must be lost before the world unites to demand peace? The answer remains uncertain. But what is clear is that the path to peace will require courage, compassion, and a willingness from both sides, and the global community, to end this cycle of violence once and for all. Thank you for watching The Military Time. Stay informed, stay aware, and continue to hope for peace in a world that needs it now more than ever.